Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. I'm still settling into my new apartment. This does seem like the easiest place to continue doing my podcasts, sitting on my couch. It's just a little bit different looking behind me now. You can see my kitchen and my dirty dishes, I think. But I've set up all my gaming consoles in the living room. I still haven't unpacked the box of classic consoles, such as my PS3, my Xbox 360, my Dreamcast. Like, those were in, like, the bedroom. So that's still in a box. I have not actually unpacked those and hooked them up to that television yet. I don't play them very often, so they're not, like, urgent. But I did unpack everything. I mean, obviously I unpacked my PS4 so that I could play some more Mass Effect Andromeda, which, by the way, I'm still making some progress in. I just hit a point where I've hit an enemy that's, like, super, super hard, and it doesn't feel like it's the boss. I just entered this underground area on a planet where I fought some Remnant, then I go over here and I fight some more Remnant, and then I go and there's, like, this massive, like, Remnant robot with, like, giant bazooka cannons, and it's like, it kicks my ass. And I'm like, I'm not sure if I just need to rethink my strategy of attack, or if I'm actually underpowered and I need better weapons and armor before I try this fight. I don't know. Nothing's been that hard up until now. It's like, it's been fine, and then all of a sudden it just got like, skyrocketing difficulty levels there. But we'll see. I had to take a break because it was time for dinner last night. But I did set up my Xbox One, but I have not used it yet. I did hook up my Kinect, though with this living room setup, there's not really any place to play it. There's a little space over here to the left of the couch. There's a little open area before the dining room where I can, like in the old apartment, stand off to the side of the television and just aim the Kinect in that direction, and I could play Dance Central or whatever there. If I wanted to play Just Dance on my Switch, I could actually stand there, or I could stand behind the couch in the kitchen, because we don't have a table yet. But once we have a table, that's going to be a little bit, maybe a little awkward. But then I could actually face the television and dance properly, and not have to be off to the side like I always do. So in a way, I'm sort of glad. I mean, the Kinect is hooked up because I wanted to just make sure everything was plugged in, but it's just sitting down there. Like, it's not aimed at anything, so it's not going to show anything. I haven't wanted to play Dance Central yet. And so in a way, I'm kind of glad that the Kinect didn't take off, because then there'd be like a bunch of Kinect games that I'd want to play, and I'd be like annoyed and trying to figure out where I could aim the Kinect and best play the Kinect games, and I'd have to like move furniture and stuff, and it would just be irritating. So maybe it's for the best. Thankfully, VR doesn't take up that much space. I can do it while I'm sitting on the couch. So I set up the PlayStation Eye above the TV, and I can sit here and play my VR games, and it's fine. You don't have to run around for that. The other thing that I've done is I've also caught up on some movies, now that things have settled down. Couldn't justify going to the movies with all the packing and then unpacking. But the weekend after we moved in, we finally went to see Black Panther. A little late, a few weeks late, whatever. It'd been out for weeks. But it was still a jam-packed theater full of people. And it was really good. I liked it better than my husband, who was not... He was like, why was everyone saying this was like the most amazing thing since sliced bread? Because it was not. Everyone is like, oh, it's the second coming. It's not the second coming, but it's really good. My problem with it is that the first half is kind of a mess. With Andy Serkis as Claw, he's kind of an annoying villain, and the whole beginning of the movie is kind of like, plot-wise, it's kind of a mess, it's a little unfocused, and it's just sort of like, what are we looking at? I don't understand. And then the second half of the movie, they're in Wakanda and everything like suddenly comes into focus, and then you have Michael B. Jordan, who is so good as Eric Killmonger. Like, he's a really good villain, and I just found him very compelling. So the whole back half of the movie, I was riveted. It was amazing. So I'm actually curious how it'll be on a rewatch, because maybe, like, there's certain elements of the first half that are, like, kind of mysterious, and they're, like, setting up stuff that gets, comes together in the back half. But I don't think anything's going to make Andy Serkis any less annoying. So that's kind of a problem. But maybe now going into it, knowing that he's annoying, it won't be as bad. Kind of like when I rewatched Justice League on my 3D Blu-ray, the 3D helped make it cooler visually, and since I had already been disappointed, I wasn't disappointed. Like, I knew what I was getting into, and so Justice League was actually not as bad the second time around. Like, I wasn't as disappointed. I was like, this is actually kind of enjoyable, and I'm enjoying this. The other movie that I saw last week, I wanted to go see A Wrinkle in Time, except that when I looked at the theater listings, I saw that they had Annihilation. And that had been out for a few weeks, and I was like, that's going to disappear. Let me see Annihilation, because A Wrinkle in Time will still be around for another few weeks. So I saw Annihilation, which I really liked. It was kind of like intellectual sci-fi, but there was still lots of action, and I loved all, like, the practical effects, like I don't know, you can't really call it makeup, because it's, like, kind of set dressing, but it's just, visually, it was just stunning. I got a little concerned at the end where I thought they were going to turn into, like, a 2001 abstract ending kind of philosophical thing, and it was just going to kind of be like, wah! And you're sitting there going, and what? I don't get it. But it got a little psychedelic, and then it grounded itself, and then it was actually super cool, so it was really good, and I liked it. I don't know what everybody's problem is. I don't know why nobody went to see it, and it's too bad. And then this weekend, I went to see Tomb Raider, which I was super psyched for, and I found kind of disappointing. At first, I wasn't sure why, but then as I thought about it, I think the problem is that because I loved the reboot games so much, and this is, like, literally that first reboot game, like, she's got the tank top, she's got the bandages and the ice pick and, like, everything, the bow and arrow, like, she just looks the part. And they recreated that so perfectly. And when I saw the trailers, I was like, oh my god, it's the video game come to life. This is amazing. It looks so right. And so when I went to see it, at first I thought, well, maybe it's just because it's what I was expecting, but it wasn't, because it was kind of disappointing. And I think I just got too hyped up by the trailers, and I got too excited, so my expectations were, like, up here. So I was expecting it to be, like, amazing. So when it was just good, I feel like it was disappointing. Because it's not a bad movie, I don't think. I was just kind of disappointed by it. I just never, like, they keep trying to pull this emotional connection out of Lara and her father, and I just wasn't feeling it. And then, spoiler alert, a little bit here. Although I don't know how many people are actually going to see this, because it was, like, a mostly empty theater when I saw it as a matinee on a Sunday afternoon, as opposed to Black Panther on a Saturday afternoon, where it was jam-packed even weeks after its release. Spoiler alert, at the end, when she's doing all the tomb raiding, and it's, puzzles and, leaping and jumping and stuff, they have all of these crazy-ass traps that are, like, insane and ridiculous, but it never quite goes, like, over the top in the way the games do, when it becomes, like, completely insane, and there's, like, supernatural elements, and it's all, like, crazy. This one tries to keep things a little grounded in reality, and I think that kind of hurts it, because I feel like it should have gone a little more over the top, like the way the original Angelina Jolie ones did. Those went over the top, crazy, special effects, supernatural, sci-fi stuff. And I feel like that's what this one maybe needed to, like, just to push it over the edge and make it, like, super fun and entertaining. I think it took itself a little too seriously, and it was a little too like, we're going to be realistic about this. And I feel like that kind of hurt it a little bit. But that's just my opinion. Maybe you loved it. I don't know. Alicia Vikander was great. She looks the part. She plays the part. She's super awesome. Part of me would like to see a sequel that maybe is a little more over the top and more fun. But given that the theater was mostly empty when I saw it, I'm not really sure how much money it's going to make and whether or not it would actually get a sequel. So, I did want to finish out this week's episode by talking about that Nintendo Direct that I didn't have time to talk about last week because I had too much else to catch up on. Every time Nintendo has a big Direct announcement, I get psyched up and I'm like, Animal Crossing, Animal Crossing, Animal Crossing, Animal Crossing. And I get no Animal Crossing. So, again, I was super disappointed in this Direct because there was no mention of Animal Crossing. I will say that my last hope now, because I do feel like they are working on it. In my heart of hearts, I know they're working on it. They have to be. It's one of their most popular franchises. They have to be working on an Animal Crossing for Switch. The problem is that I still would like to see it by the end of this year. I feel like it's a fall 2018 or Christmas 2018 kind of game. Holiday season. So, if it is going to come out this year, then they would need to announce it at E3. So, I'm basically now crossing my fingers that whenever E3 is, May, June, I'm not sure when. I used to know when I went. I used to know when it was, but I don't go anymore, so... So there I'm sort of hoping that Nintendo will announce Animal Crossing at E3. If they don't announce Animal Crossing at E3, then I don't know. Then I'm going to start to think maybe they're not working on an Animal Crossing game. Maybe they've given up on Animal Crossing. Which would be sad. And very unlikely, so that can't be. But as for the games that they did announce in the Direct, I was not, like, super psyched for anything. I know a lot of people are like, ooh, more Splatoon, and I'm just sort of like, eh. And people are like, oh, Mario Tennis, and I'm like, eh. And of course, everyone at the end was like, Smash Bros! And as you know, I'm not a fighting game fan, and my friends tried to come over and teach me how to play Smash. That was in a previous episode, and did not go over well. I'm not good at it. I didn't really have a lot of fun with it, so I was just sort of like, eh. There was one game that, I know this is completely random, but the Okami HD collection that they're going to now port to the Switch, I might play it. I never actually played any of the Okami games, which is insane, because they're supposed to be really good, and I feel like I should have. And, like, I should have gotten it on the PlayStation when it was, like, $5 on sale at the PS Network sale or something, Or maybe, like, free with PlayStation Plus, but I don't remember ever seeing it free for PlayStation Plus. Although I should check my game library, maybe it is. But if you put something on the Switch, I'm more likely to play it because I can play it during my commute and my lunch hour and wherever I am. So, like, that is helpful. So, like, that's why I would love to see, like, more games like, a Grand Theft Auto game or a Red Dead Redemption. If Rockstar could put one of their open world games on the Switch, even an old one, I'd totally play it because I would have more time to explore the open world because it's a portable game. Like, I played so much more Skyrim because I could play it wherever than I ever did when I had it on a home console, So, I would like to see more ports to the Switch of games that I never got around to playing. So, I would not mind more older games ported to the Switch, because now maybe I'd play them, because they're portable. But we'll have to wait until Nintendo's E3 presentation to see what else we might be enjoying, and it had better be Animal Crossing, or I'm going to be hella pissed off. And you'll literally get an entire episode of this that's just me ranting at Nintendo for like 10 to 15 minutes about why the hell don't I have Animal Crossing on the Switch and what is wrong with you and that sort of thing. So let's hope that never comes to pass, because you don't want to watch that. So come back next time and I'll have more to talk about, and maybe I'll play some more games, and see you then. Bye!